Coming up, a warning for Kentuckians that recently vacationed in Myrtle Beach.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. A travel advisory tonight for anyone who's recently been to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Kentucky health leaders are urging people to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. That's after a spike in cases in Myrtle Beach in recent weeks. And Kentucky has seen its own clusters from people who just returned from vacations. As Nick Oliver reports, tourism has helped lead to a rise in new infections.
Myrtle Beach has long been known as a top vacation destination for Kentuckians. The beach, the attractions, all reasons state health officials say why COVID-19 is spreading and coming back to the bluegrass. Leaders asking the public today to self-quarantine for at least 14 days if you have recently traveled to Myrtle Beach.
Right, well, I'm definitely making sure I'm wearing a mask at all of my stories now.
Zach Wilcox is a reporter with our sister station, WMBF News. He has been covering the stories as tourists head to beaches and restaurants and the growing number of cases in Horry County. He says while tourists are generally not wearing a mask or following social distance guidelines, others, like the locals, are now becoming the victim.
They were explaining that a lot of businesses have been complaining to the Chamber of Commerce that their employees are following the CDC guidelines, the social distancing guidelines, the masks and everything, but they're having issues with the customers.
Other states like Ohio and West Virginia have shared similar concerns. Kentucky says multiple people or clusters have returned home with the virus. South Carolina was one of the fastest states to reopen, but now many are calling for things to slow down.
And it seems like there is a bit of a divide here between residents and tourists. You know, this area has tourism. There's more tourists here than residents a lot of the times in the summertime. And so I think that that divide has kind of started to form where residents are like, we're being careful, but we can't help the people coming here not following the guidelines.
The county is working to make changes, including the considerations of everyone wearing a mask. But with a tourist attraction that brings in people from all over the country, they recognize that could be a challenging task. In Lexington, Nick Oliver, WYMT Mountain News.
That county has also started closing some popular stops early on weekends. Kentucky health leaders also encouraged those who visited the beach to get tested. Meanwhile, police in the UK, which is the video you're seeing now, have declared a major incident after thousands of people packed beaches on the south coast of England. Officials say they were overwhelmed by reports of fights and excessive drinking. They say that declaration allows them to bring in more agencies to help keep the public safe. Back here in Kentucky, Governor Beshear is calling on folks across the state to continue following guidelines to prevent a spike in COVID-19. The governor announced 280 new cases today. That brings Kentucky's total up to 14,617. We've lost 546 Kentuckians to the virus. That includes 8 more people who have died since yesterday. And as of today, more than 3,700 have recovered. Starting Monday, the state will resume visitation at assisted living and personal care homes. Health and Family Services Secretary Eric Friedlander says people will be able to visit loved ones once again. Visitation was stopped in early March after Kentucky confirmed its first cases of COVID-19. On July 15th, visitation will resume in nursing homes and intermediate care facilities. Secretary Friedlander says they will still be monitoring the threat of the coronavirus in these long-term care facilities. Floyd County Schools received their survey results this week from parents and teachers as to what they would prefer the upcoming school year to look like. The survey gave parents 2 options: in-person learning or online learning. More than 50% of parents said they would not be comfortable sending their child back to school, while 92% of teachers said they would feel comfortable teaching in the classroom. But for those teachers who did not feel comfortable, are they in jeopardy of losing their jobs?
And with those issues too, you know, we have teachers that are concerned, well, you know, if I can't come back, is it going to affect my job? Well, absolutely not. And here's why. Because we're still with our online learning. we're going to have teachers that are teaching to empty classrooms. And we either stream it live or probably do both, stream it live and record it as well. And you know, there's a place for everyone.
Requirements for those who do choose to come back to school include wearing masks, getting temperatures checked on the bus and before coming in the school. A tentative school start date in Floyd County is set for September 8th. In mid-May, Lamp House Coffee in Lynch opened back up to in-person service. Then it was just managing directors Sissy and Eric Rutherford running the show. As cases in Harlan County began to increase, and the majority of them came from the Tri-Cities area, for the second time during this pandemic, they have now closed, and this time just a few weeks after bringing on a new employee.
We had just brought somebody in. She was in her second week when we decided to shut down again because of the uptick. So,
if all goes as planned, Lamp House will reopen in some form on Tuesday, July 7th. After the idea was sparked at a gas station parking lot, one couple opened a local produce stand in February. In the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, Randy and Marky Polly opened Polly's Produce in Letcher County. They were hoping to provide healthy and affordable produce for people in the area. The couple says their business started out under a tent with 2 boxes and has since grown to what it is today.
Beyond blessed.
I can't explain what God has done for us in this community. It's not us, it's all God. And it's people say, you're working. No, it's God leading us to do what He wants us to do.
They have fresh fruits and vegetables and even canned goods. They are open 7 days a week. COVID-19 continues to impact people in the area in different ways. For one man in Floyd County, it recently created a lot of concern. Eric Joseph was exposed to the virus last week, and though he tested negative, he still has to quarantine for 14 days. And as the sole income for his family of 5, he did not know how they would make it through the weeks without pay. But Floyd County Judge Executive Robbie Williams stepped in, working with local food pantries to donate diapers, wipes, and food to the family.
It's been really rough trying to figure out my unemployment because I can't complete it for some reason online. And like I said, I've just been worried about paying my rent and food and stuff. And he really stepped up and helped out with the food. I really do appreciate everything that he's done.
Joseph says he is overwhelmed by the support he's received and grateful to live in the community he does.
We saw lots of sunshine today and a gorgeous sunset. We're going to continue to see those very nice conditions as we head into your Friday. We'll get and take you up to that Jackson camera where we can see the beautiful blue skies we saw earlier and that sunset. Check out that sun that set earlier. We've seen those skies clear out and some gorgeous sunsets are really set up as we head into the next couple of days. We've been talking about the dust moving in from the Sahara Desert, so that'll be something to keep an eye on over the next couple of days. But for now, clear skies, low to mid-60s, 64 right now in Whitesburg, and feeling like 64 where we're not seeing those dew points in those higher levels yet. Now as we look at temperatures, kind of a wide range, lower 70s from Moorhead, Jackson to Prestonsburg, lower to mid 60s down into the Cumberland Valley from Harlan to Williamsburg and over into Somerset, 68 in Hazard, a little bit cooler in Wise too, and Harlan at 64 degrees. Now we'll continue to see temperatures drop into about the lower 60s tonight with those mostly clear skies, and that sunshine continues heading into your Friday. But Saturday will get a little bit warmer. A few stray rain chances are possible. And Sunday, sadly, it looks like some soggier conditions return back into the mountains. I'll have more details on that coming up a little bit.
All right. Thank you, Paige. New at 11, there appears to be a new frontrunner in the race for the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. The latest numbers show Charles Booker has taken the lead over Amy McGrath. Now, many absentee ballots are still being counted, though. We are not expecting the final results until Tuesday. To find the latest election results as they stand now, though, you can go to WYMT.com. The coronavirus pandemic has claimed another Kentucky tradition, at least for this year. There will be no political speeches at Fancy Farm. The annual picnic usually draws thousands to Western Kentucky for barbecue and political speeches, but out of safety concerns, the organizers have decided they will not have speeches when the event is held this summer on August 1st. In Wolfe County, the parents of a missing teenager are offering $1,000 to anyone who can find him. This is Ashton Cannon. The 16-year-old has been missing for more than a week. His parents say in order to get the reward, the information must come from someone that has either seen him or spoken to him. The information must also lead to his return. Kentucky Power announced today they have donated an additional $36,000 for COVID-19 relief organizations. $10,000 will be donated to Save the Children. United Way will receive more than $11,000. Another $5,000 will be sent to Facing Hunger, and Kentucky Power is donating $10,000 to God's Pantry Food Bank. The money is part of a grant program with AEP. Under Governor Beshear's guidance, pools will be able to open on Monday, but many pools are staying closed for the entire summer. In Williamsburg, however, Kentucky Splash is gearing up for its grand opening on July 1st. WYMT's Emily Bennett has the guidelines of their opening.
When COVID-19 hit the region,
we've actually been holding our breath to the point of hoping that we could open.
Williamsburg Mayor Roddy Harrison did not think the doors to Kentucky Splash would open.
It's a very important part of the city's economy and just who we are. It's about a $3 million economic impact to Williamsburg.
The last few months being a roller coaster of emotions.
I went from disappointed to understanding to joyful.
Now focusing on the joy of being able to welcome people back on July 1st.
We're going to be able to have at least 1,000 people in the water, and then we actually have more area, but we've cut it back.
The park will have to stay at 50% capacity. People can buy tickets online.
We'll start with that number on our website of the tickets you can purchase. And when you purchase that ticket, it's only good for that day.
So they can track how many tickets are left each day. Each week, the park will be deep cleaned, and throughout each day, staff will be cleaning all surfaces. Harrison assuring people the park will be as safe as possible.
And kids need to get out. They need to do. They need some positive stuff. I mean, how positive can this not be?
Giving people a little fun in the sun in a challenging time. In Williamsburg, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Harrison says they planned on starting a $7 million expansion to the facility this year, adding ball fields, another water feature, and expanding camping, but that project is on hold due to loss of revenue. We'll be right back.